Hello there. I thought I'd present my ideas for a modern mythology. The criteria are that these have to be based on traditional mythological ideas and describe characters with human-like or to some extent human-like personalities that could exist in the modern world with traditional mythological roots and around which you could string stories or create them. So as a starting point in my mythological world, I would add 6 types of being: the Saṃsara cheats and the lost souls that go with them, the dragons, the Djiinn, the angels, and the Genii Loci, the spirits of the places. So let's start with the Saṃsara cheats. Those are, in a more Buddhist environment, or possibly Hindu, the wheel of reincarnations, karma, destiny. You are destined sometimes to rise and sometimes to fall. The Saṃsara cheats were destined to fall into animal reincarnations or very lowly animals, and they decided that they didn't like that. In the wheel of judgment, or wherever this happens, this heaven or this hell, they objected, they cheated, they forced themselves into a different reincarnation than the one that they were due to. They came back as humans once more. Then they grow up from children, but with the memories of their past existence, which they kept with them. Now, since they've stolen their life, it's not their own genuine karma. The whole universe is around conspiring to kill them. Fate goes against them. The only way they have of surviving is to steal the good karma of others. And so that's how they go through life. As I say, growing up with the ancient memories and knowing that they have to steal other people's good fortune in order to stay alive. The lost souls are a symmetric concept. They're the ones who are actually destined to be reincarnated in whatever bodies the cheats have stolen from them. So they're bereft of a body to live in. They're forced to wander the world. And they forge a sort of bond with whatever animal being the cheats were supposed to go into. So maybe if the cheats were supposed to be reincarnated as a dog or as a rabbit, then, or maybe as a tiger or whatever other animals, the lost souls forge a link with what that would have been, and as a sort of half ghost, half animal, they wander. And what happens is that they are out of the karmic cycle. They don't accrue karmic debt for whatever they do, which means they can do complete atrocities and not get punished, and great actions and not get rewarded. But the catch is that whatever the cheats do in the body that the lost souls should have had, that's the debt that they incur. So they're probably incurring quite a lot of debt that isn't their own. And so one of their purposes is to find the cheats that have stolen their body. And they can't detect it or connect with it, but they can do it indirectly because they can feel the debt that they're accumulating. And this might allow them to figure out what's going on or where the cheat who stole their body is currently. Okay, next concept, the dragons. Ideas, all massively powerful flying creatures, either of destruction or of wisdom, depending on which part of the world you come from, but incredibly powerful, smart, dominating, until a sort of great spell was cast, a supernatural storm that killed all of them within seconds. Well, and only the ones who were capable of shape-shifting survived. They forced themselves into human bodies, and the storm washed over them. And now they live in human bodies still, reproducing very slowly, and uncertainly in creating other new dragons who must themselves hide in human bodies. But it's not just a question of hiding. They're crippled. They are small when they feel they should be big. They walk when they feel they should fly. They talk when they feel they should roar. And they deal with life as a human when they feel that they should be dominating and ruling everything. They can deploy their majesty, deploy themselves into full dragon form, and when they do that, the storm finds them and inevitably kills them within a few seconds. So they're reduced to just a tweak. Maybe as they fall, a pair of wings out and they fly for half a second. If they get mugged in an alley, well, just a short fire breath along their muggers. That's the kind of thing they can do. It's risky, but they suffer so much contained in a human body, and they don't even have access to their full personality, just a small piece of it at a time, whichever piece they can contain in their brain at that instant. And so that's how they go through life, very much reduced. Though those who know that they are dragons are wary around them, because if a dragon is willing to die, they can go full form, full fledge, full wing, and pretty much they only have a few seconds, but they're going to take down anyone around them that they dislike in that second. So yes. The next one, the Djinns, or the demons, the saints, the incubi, they have many names because they've been many things. They're the kind of sort of gods or half-gods that thrive off the worship of mortals and get power from the worship of mortals. But when they do that, they take on the form that they are expected to be. So if they are a saint and they are worshipped, they become a saint. If they are a demon, they become a demon. And their memories of the past become disjointed. So they may be some of the most powerful beings around, apart from an unleashed dragon. They have peaks of intense belief, but they are so fragmentary. They strive. The big struggle amongst them is to try and assemble a stable personality over a long period of time. Then the angels. The idea is there used to be many angels. Angels are messengers originally, so all sort of deities have had messengers, minor beings that do their will, bring messages, maybe bring vengeance or to carry out tasks. And then one day, say around 852, all the heavens vanished simultaneously. The heavens of the different pantheons, they all vanished. There's been no trace of them, and no trace of the gods remain in the world. And many of the angels were halfway between their carrying out their duties, and they were cut off completely from their patrons, from their gods. And each angel was left with a message and a mission to deliver it. Now the message they remember perfectly, but they don't know who it's for. So they're basically wandering the world, hoping to find the message, the person for whom the message will make sense, and so they can be finished, released from their mission, maybe return to the heavens. It's a bit vague what happens then. Now, generally, angels are conservative, follow a hierarchy and obedient, but after hundreds of years, the hierarchies are fraying, and many of the angels have gone mad, becoming banshees, who've just basically spent their time screeching their message aloud for all to hear, hoping that one of their listeners is the intended target of it. And finally, the Genii Loci, the avatar and spirits of a location. They can take human form, they can walk around, they can interact. They don't have to stay in their initial location, but they are very strongly connected to it. If one is the spirit of a forest and you stab them in the shoulder, maybe part of the forest will burn. Conversely, if you burn part of the forest, maybe their flesh will bubble. They're closely connected with it. And they can try and increase their power by representing more higher location, possibly by forcing out the spirits of other locations. However, their own health and survival is at risk if they can't improve. If you try and become the spirit of New York and you cannot improve New York, the spirit will suffer and decay. So they try and focus maybe on something small or something they can control. But there's some who are spirits of urban places, some spirits of ancient places, so some have a very modern complexion, some have a very conservative or old-fashioned complexion. And some of them just wander the world. They have a reasonably safe place. They go far. They don't want to draw attention to the place that they are connected with, because that makes them vulnerable. But that means that they can't help protect their place. And a lot of them get involved. If you go into a typical mayor's office, a lot of the workers there, a lot of the employees will be spirits of a place working to divert resources towards the place that is themselves, to protect their own patch of the earth. Anyway, those are some of my ideas. I don't know if I'll build something bigger out of that, but I think some of them have a lot of potential. And thanks for listening.